All right, so Olivier, your company operates in the observability space. That's a bit jargony. It's something that used to be called monitoring for networking and infrastructure and also log management. Let's talk about what your outlook is for the company as you enter the S&P 500 today. A lot of people are going to become stockholders just through index funds alone. What does your company do for some of your big name customers, and what's your outlook for the rest of the year?
Yes, so as you said, observability and security, that's a bit of a mouthful. What we really do, the best way to explain it is that, whenever you stream video online or you pay something with a credit card, on the back end, what you have is hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of systems and applications that work together to make that happen. And what we do is we help the hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of engineers who actually make all those systems work. We help them make sure that those systems actually work, that they're fast, that they're reliable, and also that they are secure. And we serve, we're about 7,000 people today. We serve about more than 60% of the Fortune 100, 8 of the top 10 AI companies. And we are extremely bullish about the future as we see that there's, if anything, an acceleration of the amount of applications and systems that are being built by companies with AI.
All right, you have a pretty diverse customer base. Our parent company, Comcast, along with Shell, Samsung, a number of other names we're just going to show the audience right now. Can we get a little bit more granular? When we're talking about whether it's a Comcast, a Samsung, I'll let you just pick what customer you want to talk about. What do they need to observe? Is it an application that you're watching for them? Is it just the broader network? What's the main business that companies want you to do?
Well, it can be anything, really. They have systems that range from running their low-level networks all the way up to AI agents that are interacting with their customers. Some customers care particularly about specific events. So, for example, we have a number of customers in streaming or in video games that either have a big release on Christmas night and they need to make sure everything is absolutely up and working perfectly, or that are streaming a big game, for example, streaming the Super Bowl. And in these cases, we help these engineers make sure that everything works perfectly, as there are extremely dire business consequences to outages, or even worse, security issues.
All right. So there's a good amount of bullishness about your company, but again, we had that Guggenheim downgrade yesterday. The analysts there seem to be concerned that one of your big customers, OpenAI, may create a product to basically replace what your services and what your company does. How much of that is a risk for your company?
Look, I don't really want to talk about any specific customers. Anything happens anytime with any customer. In general, our business is growing very fast. Our retention is extremely high. We're a business with more than 97, 98% gross retention, which is amazing for a business that serves a very broad range of customers as we do. We have more than 30,000 customers. But overall, we're extremely, extremely excited about the future as we see that what drives the success of our business is migration to the cloud in general, and the increase of the number of applications that are being built, the amount of code that is being produced, the number of services and systems that are being used to actually power those applications. And if anything, we see that with AI, there's going to be a dramatic increase in the number of applications and systems that are being built by companies big and small.
Let's talk a little bit more about AI. One of the issues with AI seems to be hallucinations and also the quality of data. So specifically at the enterprise level, what can your company do? You kind of have shared an interesting anecdote on different interviews that ChatGPT has you as like a very prolific snowboarder and you've never been on a snowboard. Can your company help companies fix issues like that?
Yes, that's one of the main issues. There's a big shift in the way most applications are going to work. It used to be maybe 5 years ago when you built an application, you built a spec, you wrote a spec, then you wrote the code, then you tested everything, and by the time you released your application, you were pretty sure of what it was going to do and how well it was going to perform. With applications that are mostly non-deterministic today, that are built around AI model, or where a lot of the code is not written by humans, but is written by coding agents, you actually shift the problem from writing the code, writing the application, to actually building trust in it and understanding how it's going to behave. And so a lot of what we do now is actually observing those applications, or those AI applications and AI models, to understand how they behave. Are they being right? Are they correct? Are they doing what they're supposed to do for the business? Are they secure? Are they exposing information that they shouldn't? And that's, I would say, a big challenge and a big change in the way the value is being apportioned in the software lifecycle, basically.
Right. I'm going to assume you also haven't been on a snowboard since you said that the last time.
No, not snowboarding for me.
On a serious note, I want to talk to you about security. That's also a different part of your business. Have you seen the security landscape change in any significant way since the Middle East tensions that we saw last month?
We didn't see anything dramatic happen right away with the Middle East tensions. But what we do see is really an arms race, especially with the progresses made in AI. Because if we can do more to automate the fixing of issues with AI, bad actors can do even more in terms of finding all these issues and exploiting them. And so there's clearly a large increase in the volume of attacks that we can see and in the need for solutions to protect from those attacks.